Natural capital is the water, soil, atmosphere, as well as plant and animal biomass that, taken together, forms the basis of all ecosystems. This natural capital stock uses primary inputs such as sunlight to produce a range of ecosystem services, which contribute directly and indirectly to human well-being. While most are probably familiar with the water cycle, involving processes such as evaporation, condensation and precipitation, the carbon cycle is perhaps less well known, as Dr. Brent Clothier explains.
Not only is water an important natural capital stock, carbon is also an important natural capital stock. Carbon in our vegetation and carbon in the soil. The soil is an intriguing stock because it is the largest terrestrial pool of carbon we have. There's more carbon in soil than there is in vegetation. And it got into the soil through the plant. Plant captures carbon through the process of photosynthesis, and it is delivered to the soil by residues as the tree decays or as leaves fall off, as the roots decay in the soil, or through exudates from the roots into the soil. And so the soil carbon is built up through that process, and that soil carbon drives soil health. The carbon through time might get covered as the soil is covered by oceans or other geological stratas, and through time that forms oil, gas and coal, which we're now using in ever-increasing amounts to drive humankind's development, and that is pushing more carbon into the atmosphere than is being taken up by photosynthesis. We need to maintain the carbon in the soil we have, and we need to work hard to increase carbon levels in the soil. The value from that is twofold. First, if we keep carbon in the soil, it stays out of the atmosphere. If we can increase the carbon in the soil, it will reduce emissions to the atmosphere, and that will mitigate climate change. But secondly, carbon is a prime driver of microbial processes in the soil, and it's those microbial processes that give us soil health, soil functioning and soil structure. There's two aspects to soil carbon. One is simply a carbon inventory, understanding how much carbon is in our soil and understanding whether those carbon stocks are going up or down. We're working in Australia, and we've developed across 12 sites in Australia a carbon inventory. So we've got a baseline value of soil carbon stocks in the major apple and pear growing regions of Australia. And in detail, we've looked at the changing stocks of carbon in Victoria and in Tasmania. So we're getting an understanding of how much carbon is there in orchards and whether that carbon stock is going up or down. In contrast, where we're working in Kenya and the highlands, there's a real problem with carbon because the African soils are generally quite infertile and quite low in carbon. And it's imperative that we secure carbon streams to get carbon back into those soils to improve soil health and fertility. And we're looking to use animal manures, because the smallholder farmers generally do have some stock, to secure better soil health and better soil functioning in the root zones of the avocado trees in which we're working.